Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. It is 10 p.m. for me here in California, 11, 12, 1, and 1 p.m. for my Misty out in Florida. I hope you guys are having an amazing Monday. It's the beginning of the week. It's a great opportunity to just get ahead with our week. This is not the day you want to, say, oh, I have the opportunity to just fuck off. Not the Monday. Not the Monday. Okay? So here we go. We're going to go ahead and give a debrief from chapter 18. And chapter 18 is titled, You Can Gradually Change Your Vibrational Frequency. Now, the title is pretty self explanatory, but honestly, personally, I feel like although this chapter was very, very short, it was a little challenging for me. But I will go ahead and just debrief some of the things that I was able to comprehend. And basically, it's saying that because of the law of attraction and the way that it really works in terms of vibrations, we really cannot jump from feeling super miserable to super happy and excited, because in all reality, that doesn't live in us. We're choosing deliberately to try to feel happier, but from what I understood, the book says is you're so programmed that after being mad, you're sad. That if you want to go and jump up to be happy, it's so unrealistic that the law of attraction is not going to bring that happiness to me because I have yet to develop that muscle. So what it says here, it says, of course, there is no thought that you cannot eventually have. Just as there is no place that you cannot eventually reach from where you are. But you cannot instantly jump to a thought that has a vibrational frequency very different from the thoughts you are usually thinking. So that is where, for me, I was able to come across that visual of, okay, I cannot go from frustrated all the way to super jubilant because my programming is used to feeling frustrated, then maybe depressed, then maybe I'm wondering, okay, what threw me off, and then I can go ahead and put myself in a state of bliss, because that's just my programming when it comes to my thoughts and emotions and how I have been working for a while, the way that I go about, grief or whatever circumstance. So it put me in a position of saying, and it makes sense now in for me, right? Sometimes I could be in, like, say, a rut, and then I'll try to pick up my goal card with the assumption that because I really aspire to achieve the goal that I have written down, I'm all of a sudden gonna be super jubilant. And now it makes sense why sometimes I can grab my goal card in a moment of frustration and be like, man, fuck this shit. Straight up, this is just my example, right? And I like to bring my examples to the forefront because I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one. And I'll grab this freaking goal card and I'll read it over and over and over, and I'll try to dance with it, and I try, and in the inside of me there's just something saying, you fool, it ain't working. And it isn't so much that I'm placing judgment on myself, it's more like my higher knowing is saying, dude, you need to first bring it back real quick. You cannot disregard and throw under the rug what you are feeling. Let's figure out what it is that you truly are feeling so that we don't find ourselves in this situation again. And then I will be able to properly release. When I properly release and dispose of this emotion or this thought, then I can deliberately and intentionally bring a healthier emotion because I was able to release. But it's like, for example, it's just another example, saying you got cheated on, right? You're cheated on, oh my God, and I can't be in this vibration. Like, I need to, go kick a rock, go fly a kite. I'm gonna be on the beach, I'm gonna have a good time. You know damn well you're gonna be in the beach and you're gonna get a sense of, grief. something is going to remind you of you being cheated on because you saw, a couple. But I'll tell you something. What it really is letting you know you cannot evade this thought or this feeling. And so, as my job of the universe is to show you contrast and for you to learn experiences, I have so many couples around you right now because you came to fly a kite without the intention of truly trying to figure out what you need. What are the basic fundamental needs that you are going through right now? And how can we change that so that you could truly come fly a kite? So that is how I understood it. Once again, this chapter I feel like is still too big for my awareness because I was reading it and I was like, huh, huh, huh. And it's not that the words are big words, it's a big message.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big message for my
Yeah.
awareness. So
Yeah.
that's definitely what I would say that I kind of understood for this time around, and we'll see what next time around would be. But thank you, Miss Love. Let me know what you think.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, like you said, this chapter, I feel like maybe in the next chapter it'll kind of start to flow and maybe make a little bit, maybe there'll be a little bit more clarity, or I might just be trying to dig too deep in it and it might just be exactly what it's saying. But
Girl, it's deep.
so
Okay, life is deep, girl.
so kind of like you were saying, as far as vibration, what I got from this chapter as well is, that the law of attraction, and I'm just reading this from the book itself, for the law of attraction will not allow you to find a vibrational frequency that is far from the frequency you usually sustain.
Mm,
So for me, I'm kind of going to I kind of see it more as far as like your regular, like the vibration that you're normally in, like your normal state of mind. Are you always in that worry, worry, worry? Are you always like more so looking on the positive side? So if you're like one of those people that are always more in a vibrational of worry, 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 you're always thinking about the worst case scenario, and then now you're trying to shift to like everything is, you know what I mean, like to this big shift. I feel like maybe that's kind of the message that I'm getting, that you can't just go from this, you're sustained, from being so, there's such a big gap between those levels because, there's different frequencies for all these different emotions that you feel. So there's such a big gap that it's something that you definitely have to work on somewhat gradually to really, and I feel like it has to do with belief as well, because like you were mentioning before, sometimes when you're in this state and it just doesn't feel good and you really want to get out of it and you just try to go, okay, you're like way sky high, you're like on the moon, and it's just too much, it's just too much of a gap, and you just truly don't even believe it. It's kind of like,
mm,
yeah, this is too good to be true. So it doesn't even really stick. Like automatically, like once you're kind of out of that, you kind of go back to your sustained level anyway. So rather than trying to go, yeah, you see the end goal as far as like that feeling that you want to feel. I want to be happy. I want to, feel secure. I want to know that, everything is, I want to feel like I'm always good no matter where I am. You can start gradually by, especially with the worry, is that, today's going to be a good day. Just start with like one little thing instead of like the big, like overall,
mm,
just to kind of gradually build that muscle slowly. So that's kind of how I'm seeing this chapter in a sense. I don't know. We'll see what happens as we go along. There's so much in this beautiful book, and especially I feel like maybe even the second time around that I read this, I may even, how like you just see things differently in a different light based on certain experiences you have. So super excited to kind of see. I'm gonna definitely kind of play with this all together, because sometimes we want to go from like, I don't want to feel like this, and then you just want to jump to that big one, and then you wonder why isn't anything happening, because you went so far, you know what I mean, and there really wasn't that true belief of that end feeling like it didn't, and it doesn't really stick. You need to be in a certain vibration anyways to attract. So what vibration are you truly maintaining and sustaining? So definitely take a look at that. Check yourself on, where you are with things, and continuously, you know what I mean, learn yourself and grow yourself. So really excited to hear what you all have interpreted from this chapter, what you have learned about this. Like, kind of, yeah, let us know, because we definitely are kind of like, I don't know, this might be, this is just us. So we'd love to hear your opinions on this chapter. Definitely love to hear anything else that you'd love to share with us. Want to thank everyone for being here with us, and yeah, we'll see you in the next chapter.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Misty. Before we even go, I do want to just say you definitely put this chapter in a very different perception for me. Your your way of debriefing it and the way that you saw it, girl, it made me kind of realize it's just an example of what you're saying that I understood was basically, for example, the person that wakes up at 8 o'clock that wants to the next day wake up at 4 in the morning and start a 4 in the morning routine, it will fall flat on their face by 1 p.m. because they are dreading, right? They're tired. They woke up so early. And so that's all I can think of. They usually say 5 minutes, start in increments of 5 minutes, as much as 15 minutes maybe. But it's the way that you said it was so different that it allowed me to see it in a different light and be like, wow, that's what they mean. Because you could jump up high, but you jumped all these steps that guess where you're going to fall down to? You're not falling to the level
Mm-hmm.
below, you're falling straight down.
That's a
So,
beautiful example. You're
girl,
good with those examples. I love it. I'm
thanks.
like, I'm
Thank
over here
you.
trying to get a story in my head. I'm like, I don't got it. Amber got me.
Thank you, love. But thank you. And here it is. For everyone out there, this is the reason why we're doing this, because if when you're reading this book by yourself, you don't have the opportunity to hear someone else's perspective or someone else's point of view. And that's what you need. You need the point of view of a different person, because otherwise you're continuing to see life from the same cup that you've always seen life. The same shallowness, the same depth, the same circumference, the same, and it don't go nowhere. But when you ask someone else, they come from a very different place with so much different stuff that you're just like, oh, I never saw it like that, right? So thank you. I appreciate it, and I do
You're
want everyone
welcome.
I do want everyone to know that for me personally, you know, and I'm sure Missy feels the same. Encourage you guys to have a reading partner, because like what happened right now, I wasn't understanding the chapter as much, but I feel that through your point of view, Misty, it has allowed me to understand a little bit more than what I was. So I'm just excited for the next time around, like you said, when we get to read this book. Well, by now my awareness has definitely grown so much more and
Mm-hmm.
in a different way that this chapter will make sense differently. So thank you. I appreciate it. I just wanted to put that in there for those that, kind of work like me. I need examples, I need visuals. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Misty. And
Thank
yeah,
you,
we'll be back
love.
here again.
Yes.